Another Jacksonville.
We're all doing
Good evening. It's Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. This is the City of Franklin Plan Commission. Madam, would you please take the roll?
Mayor Nelson?
Here.
Commissioner Specht? Here. Not on. Commissioner Sago?
here.
Commissioner Haley is excused. Alderman Salus?
Here.
Alderwoman Day? Here. Commissioner Leon?
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Going to item B, approval of minutes. Approval of the regular meeting of November 20th, 2025. Is there a motion?
So moved. I second.
First and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to letter C as in Charles, public hearing business matters. C1, there will be no action taken on that. There'll be no action, it'll be, I'll just say no action. Going into, what's that, Council?
Because it's put over new date.
So it has been put over to a new date, agreed. So now let's go into C2, public hearing of Communities of Crocus Special Use Renewal, time extension. Renewal of approval of an application for a special use for Communities of Crocus to allow for development of up to four-unit multifamily residential buildings, 16 units total, with services for autistic adults and related community buildings upon property located at 0 South 31st Street, now 7347 South 31st Street, tax key number 761-9992-002. Good evening, Marion. Are you?
I am presenting this. Thank you, Mayor. So this application is a request for essentially an extension of the approval under the previous UDO. Special, or what are now referred to as conditional uses, were typically approved for a 1-year time period in which the applicant had to commence construction. Because of a number of things related to their development timeline, including getting site plan approval and working through all of the subsequent steps, the applicant has not yet begun construction. They just obtained site plan approval in October. For their actual site plan. So what was presented as part of this original application was conceptual, and they have now an approved site plan for the four-unit buildings and the 2 other uses on the site. So that step was accomplished, but as you know, things take time. And so they're asking for an extension of the special use approval, which was resolution 2024-8217 for 2 years. So under the new ordinance, those approvals will typically be for 2 years. So 2 years from the date of the new conditional use approval. So they're not changing any of the proposed uses. There are no changes to the site proposed. Their package actually included a nice rendering for you guys to take a look at. But if there are questions about the scope of that approval or anything related to that, there is a public hearing this evening. I'm happy to answer them. But again, nothing is changing. It's just a request for a time extension. The applicants are here as well. So
Great. Before I ask you to read the hearing notice, because I know there's going to be a few questions that I have. If one of you or both could come up, start making your way up here. Gentlemen, great. And then right here. And as we, good evening, sir. And what we'll do is, if I could just have your name and business address for the record. Just speak right into it real close.
Kevin Alabak, I'm with HGA Architects, architect and principal there.
And the address?
333 East Erie Street in Milwaukee.
Thank you, and good evening. So with that, why don't we just, if you would do the opening for the, please.
So this is a notice of public hearing for the City of Franklin Plan Commission. The date is Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 at 6:00 p.m. here in the council chambers at Franklin City Hall, 9229 West Loomis Road, Franklin, Wisconsin, 53132. The applicant is Amy Hansel. of Communities of Crocus. Communities of Crocus is the property owner as well. And the property in question is 0 South 31st Street, tax key number 761-9992-002. The proposal is a renewal of an approval of an application for a special use for Communities of Crocus to allow for the development of up to four-unit multifamily residential buildings for 16 units total, with services for autistic adults and related community buildings. The Center Community Building will provide health and recreational resources to residents of Communities of Crocus, and the hub will include general office space, life skill, caregiving, training facilities, and other educational facilities. This public hearing is being held pursuant to the requirements of Wisconsin Statute 6223-7D2 and 15-906E of the Unified Development Ordinance. A map of the affected property, all application materials, and the proposed resolution are available at the Department of City Development at Franklin City Hall. The public is invited to attend the public hearing and to provide input.
Thank you. It is 6:06 PM. Anybody wishing to speak on this hearing, I'll open it up right now. Just state your name and address for the record. If anybody's wishing to speak, just step to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please. Is that working? Always the first one, we never know. It's always a crapshoot.
Hello? Okay. Steve Fighter, 7250 and 7280 South 35th Street.
Thank you.
I'm just going to read a prepared statement. I'll give you a copy later on if you want. The recorder wants to keep a copy. Gentlemen and ladies of the Planning Commission, regarding the Communities of Crocus project, this commentary is directed to that organization. I am the neighbor to the northwest of the property you purchased in Franklin for your Communities of Crocus project. Directly to the north of the wooded area, running the east branch of the Root River. However, I have some concerns I expressed at the first Planning Commission meeting and wish to express again. I consider the properties surrounding me to still have a semi-rural flavor, and despite the proximity to development along 27th Street, the riparian zones along the east branch of the Root River should maintain that flavor, and no doubt the folks you will be taking care of and their parents would appreciate that. I have two concerns relative to this. The woods to the west side of your property has been there long before I purchased my home in the year 2000, and I feel it should not be touched or developed in any way, except perhaps with walking paths for the folks for your organization cares for and their parents. There is a potential for light spillage from whatever building or overhead parking lights that will be used on the property, which must be addressed in some fashion. This can be addressed by using light hoods to direct the light downwards and not to the side, especially if LED bulbs are used. My electrician brother has told me downward projecting lamps and hoods are available. This is and has been a quiet neighborhood ever since I purchased my home, and I understand the neighbors and I will be subjected to the backup alarms of construction equipment while the project is being built, which unfortunately can't be minimized. Once the project is complete, I hope that quiet ambience will return. One more note. I would rather a fence not be built between my property and yours. Regards, Stephen Fighter. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Did you want a copy for the record?
Yeah. And we'll have a time the gentleman will respond to your questions too. Anyone else wishing to speak on this matter? The public hearing is still open.
My name is Kevin Foley, and I live here in Franklin at 4656 West Hilltop Lane. This is a matter which has previously been considered by this commission and has been approved. It has also been considered by more than one meeting of the Common Council and has also been previously approved. There is no new information that's being presented here. This is simply to obtain a time extension. I would like to point out that, at least in my opinion, this is a project of unquestionable merit. Our Franklin Public School System has invested approximately $250,000 in every special education student by the time they have either graduated or timed out of their entitlement to special education services. This is a group of parents of autistic adults coming together to meet the needs of those now young adult, what were once children. You know, we hear so much about family values in our society today. This exemplifies family values. I'm sure your able legal counsel has already pointed out to you the problematic nature of potentially discriminating against a population of people who our society defines as being disabled in one sense or another. I urge you to adopt a positive decision on the matter before you tonight. I can't imagine a project which would bring greater credit to this city than having focused housing for this special needs group. That concludes my advice to you. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else wishing to speak during this public hearing? Seeing no one else. Public hearing is closed at 6:12 p.m. And there's a chance now for some rebuttal and some answers and some comments from members of the Plan Commission. But I'm going to ask you first, sir, if you don't mind just responding back. As I know, the light one's the easy one. I mean, if you just want to tell them where you're going at with that.
Sure, there'll be full cutoff fixtures, so that light is all directed down and not out, and they will be all LED fixtures as well. We're also looking at control systems so that those lights would be likely turned off at some point in the evening, so it's not anticipated to be on all night.
Members of the commission, I'll speak last. Mr. Leone?
Thank you, Mayor. Fully supportive of this project as it was in the past. Don't anticipate that changing. Would ask the applicant if can have some discussions with Ms. Freider, the neighbor to the northwest, about the concern to do with fencing, maybe some screening, something that can potentially be done to allay some of his concerns about the fencing as well. I don't know how manageable it is, but if you can continue to have that conversation with Mr. Freider and other neighbors just to find a good solution if possible.
Yeah, no, we totally agree. The thing I would add is yes, there is a planned fence. There's also landscaping along that fence. So trying to buffer that landscaping on the neighborhood side of the fence as well. So trying to do all we can to be sensitive to that.
That's exactly what my thoughts are. But to have the conversation with the gentleman here, just so we can find a good solution. Thank you.
Mr. Saluz? Oh, I'm sorry. Marion first.
With regards to the fence, I do want to clarify that it is not extending around the property line, but in fact is wrapping what is considered the backyard of the housing units and connecting it to the hub facility. So it's not going west of essentially this lot. So I'm not sure if that makes a difference to the commenter, but just be aware that it's not enclosing the whole property. It's enclosing the residential part.
Mr. Saluz?
I just would like to say that this is a very nice project, a great project, very badly needed in the community, and I'm just anxious to see it happening. What is the timeline for construction in your view?
So we met with Amy and the Communities of Crocus Group and the contractor earlier this week, actually. So we have begun construction documents of the 4 care homes, the houses to the north. So the anticipation is that we've got to finish that, apply for our state plan review and approval, and start construction hopefully sometime in the summer, early fall.
Of 2026.
Of this year, yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything at this point? Okay, I just have a few things. So the one thing was the lights, so that's been addressed. And I know this is kind of, I know we've talked about this at plan, we talked about this at council, but I do want to reiterate because I did get a call last week, a very surprising call that of a non-supporter in the neighborhood, which was very, I was taken back by, apparently he was the spokesperson for a few of the neighbors there. And I just want to reiterate a few things that the funding for this has been, found, it's been secured for a very, very long time. And I don't know what that long time is defined as, but the need for this in the community, the need for this overall is a big deal. And their question, is like, well, what about the funding? What about extra calls for service for police and fire? And a number of those things, and really came at me pretty hard on this. And I just want to say, we want to reiterate that these concerns shouldn't be a stopper for this, and people should understand that, yes, this is going to be a 24-hour, there's people going to be on site, there's going to be things that are being addressed, so that, but yeah, they listened and they came at me pretty hard. So that's all, I'll leave it at that for now, but just so you know that this, and as much as we support it, I support it, there are concerns. So with that, Marion, would you like to read a motion on this?
Sure, one second. So the resolution presented, the city attorney has given me feedback that it needs to be reworded slightly so that the time extension is part of the further resolved clauses. So I propose a motion to recommend approval of the resolution to amend resolution number 2024-8217, a resolution imposing conditions and restrictions for the approval of a special use to allow for the development of a 16-unit supportive housing development, resident community center, and community hub facility upon property located at 0 South 31st Street, now 7347 South 31st Street, subject to amendment by the city attorney and staff.
I'll make the motion.
I second.
I'll second.
Got it.
Okay, as I was looking to my left to get confirmation from the city attorney in a very aggressive yet positive manner. So
I'm
who
very
made the
passionate
first?
about this.
Who made the first?
I did.
Alderwoman Day made the first. Who made the second?
We spoke at the same time, I'll give it to her.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
Mayor, just a question.
Yes, sir.
We're extending it for 2 years at this point, correct? 2 years from today.
2
Mr.
years.
City Attorney, if you can hit his button.
The amendment will add a be it further resolved provision citing whatever the current section is in the Unified Development Ordinance and state that the special use permission granted under this resolution shall be null and void upon the expiration of 2 years
There you go.
from the date of adoption of this resolution, unless the special use has been established by way of the issuance of an occupancy permit for such use.
2 years from today, right?
The date of adoption of the resolution, the council adopts the resolution.
Okay, 2 years from that date, okay. Thank you.
Which will probably be February 3rd. Is it going to be on that agenda, Marion? So February 3rd.
Yeah. Just
February
want to
4th.
make sure it wasn't 2 years from the original, that it's 2 years from when it's adopted.
That's why I said it should be in
Thank you.
here.
Perfect, so that's cleared. It was unanimous, it moves forward, it's approved. And now there is no citizen comment period because E is in Edward 1. There will be no action taken on E1 on the new business matters. So that'll be,
It's voted on.
And staff does recommend that the hearing be postponed till the February 19th
for,
commission meeting.
okay, for C1 or E1
Would be both,
to February when?
19th.
February 19th, very good. So C1 and E is in Edward 1 will be postponed until February 19th.
Did I miss the motion on Crocus?
Yeah.
Crocus was a 1-2 unanimous.
Do
Okay.
we have to have a motion for C1 or E1, or it just automatic?
Nope, no action taken, it'll come back Then, next motion up is the important one, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? As have it, motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:20 PM. Miriam, could you get us the live feed?
There you go in the middle. Quick one.